our gratitude. He's been with the orchestra since we were founded 20-some-odd years ago. And we got this picture on that last concert. We took it up, him conducting us in mid-pose. So, he has this look that he gives you when he wants you to do, and you're not quite doing it. So maybe it should be fine. But, thank you, Ron.
Chair of the School of Music, and thank you all so much for coming. This is a very, very special night for us. Not only do we get to play lots and lots of wonderful music and share it with you, but as you can see, we get to honor Ron Mendola. Ron joined Georgia Tech in 1979 and has either directly founded or been involved in establishing most of our ensembles, our classes, and many of our traditions. During that time, Ron maintained an active career as a performer, as a composer, arranger, and a music producer, a man literally of many talents. During 20 or more years of that period, he was partnered with and worked very closely with my predecessor, Bucky Johnson. Bucky really wanted to be here tonight, but he couldn't come. He had some prior civic obligations. As some of you may know, Bucky is the mayor of Norcross, Georgia. Lord Mayor. And he's still a heck of a drummer too, so you know, if somebody gets out of line. But one of the wonderful things that Bucky insisted on was that he be with us in spirit. And so, Ron, tonight we have Bucky's mayoral proclamation in your honor to be read and presented by our Chief Academic Officer and Provost, Dr. Raphael Bras, and Dean of the College of Architecture, Dr. Alan Balfour. Gentlemen.
Good evening. I cannot imagine a better way to end an evening of music and creativity than to honor the person that made it possible. I'm privileged to read this proclamation. Whereas Ron Mendola's music teaching career with Georgia Tech began in 1979, first as director of the Jazz Ensemble, and since 1993 as orchestra director, and
whereas Ron Mendola is a leader serving many organizations as musical producer, composer, arranger, conductor, video producer, creative consultant for dozens of Fortune 500 companies, as well as serving as musical producer for Rush Limbaugh's wedding.
Ron Mendola has performed the trumpet with the Buffalo Philharmonic, Atlanta Opera, Ballet, and Chamber Orchestras, the Atlanta Symphony, and the commercial groups of artists including Tony Bennett, Frank Sinatra, Melissa Manchester, The Who, Dionne Warwick, Aretha Franklin, Ella Fitzgerald, and Natalie Cole, and
whereas Ron Mendola has been a valued faculty member, teacher, mentor, friend to all, now,
therefore, I, Wilkie Johnson, Mayor of Norcross and former colleague, upon his retirement do hereby recognize the contributions of Professor Ron Mendola to Georgia Tech, the Atlanta music community, and the hundreds of students whose lives he has touched. This 9th day of December 2010, signed by Wilkie Johnson.
As many of you know, it is a tradition when people are retiring to have something akin to a money tree or some tradition of that type. We're musicians, so we did the tree part. It is green. We're very excited about that. And as you can see, it has some lovely Georgia Tech ornaments. They're just fabulous. Well, I mean, we found them, it was a garage sale. And it was a great price. And when you put that together with a 10 for 10 bin at Michael's, I know, I love it too. But what we wanted to do is make sure that everybody had a chance to see just how lovely these ornaments are. I know it's a little difficult to see in the back, so I'll hold it closer. I know, they're fabulous. So Ron, on behalf of the music faculty, your tree. Then someone who has far better taste and public decorum than I do said, "Isn't there a real gift?" And truth is, there are. There's no point in having a tree without some presents to go underneath it. So joining me now will be the music faculty, and we have a few gifts for you, Ron. You'll be pleased to know that Georgia Tech, as an ecologically friendly institution, this is all recycled paper. And what's the fun in having presents if you don't have to do a little looking? Kind of like retirement and Easter all in one.